You're listening to the Talkin Dads podcast, brought to you by You Suggested. Visit our social media sites, twitter.com/Talkin Dads, @mention us @Talkin Dads, facebook.com/Talkin Dads, instagram.com/Talkin Dads. If you'd like to support us, please visit our Patreon page, www.patreon.com/Talkin Dads.
It's not always engaged.
Oh,
There he's back.
Hello.
there you are.
See, I am using the mic. Fuck you guys.
So you actually were using the mic.
Yes.
Something's rattling around.
Yeah, it's Lou.
It's my balls.
Well, get them out of your mouth.
Good for you. Good for you.
It's the only way I can sleep at night.
What?
Well, apparently now with Alex Jones off the market, all we got to do is say a bunch of crazy shit, and we can fill the vacuum.
Who the hell's Alex Jones?
You know how Alex Jones is?
Oh, yeah. No, I don't.
I was like, holy crap! Wow. Actually, I was going to be excited. Like, the idea that there was a person out there that had no idea who that bastard was.
I have no idea who he is. Who is he?
He was being serious, Earl.
Oh,
Yeah,
Alex
no.
Jones. Alex Jones was the internet's most famous conspiracy theorist. He ran websites called Infowars and PrisonPlanet.com. He's based out of Austin, Texas, and he's batshit fucking crazy.
Is he? So one of the guys that is obviously on Ancient Aliens, right?
No. This guy's more virulent is the word than that. He's the guy who claims, like, his big recent claim to fame was that none of the kids in the mass shootings actually died. That they're all crisis actors who were used to push the left-wing agenda on the United States.
Yeah,
Oh,
I've
yeah.
heard that one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The Sandy Hook parents from up there are suing him into oblivion because he claimed that their kids didn't really die.
Wow.
Yeah. I hope they take everything he has.
Wow. It's crazy. It's crazy.
So, a couple things, Lou. Do you have a fan on or air conditioning or something?
Yeah. Would you like me to turn it off for the house?
It's the air conditioning for the house. Oh shit.
Yeah. Let me see if I can ask my wife if we can turn it off. Can we turn off the air conditioning for the house?
Sorry.
Okay.
It's super loud.
That's Central Air?
Yeah, it's
Is John there?
I'm here.
Oh
What's
my
up,
god!
guys?
Holy shit!
Can you guys hear me?
You
Yeah.
bastard. Yes,
Can you
we
hear
can.
us?
it's not really that loud. What's gonna end up happening is it's gonna turn off in a minute, and my kids are gonna be a hell of a lot louder, so you don't have to worry about the air conditioning for long.
Okay.
So,
Well, whatever construction project you're working on, we're gonna have to stop before we.
I just had to move a couple things around so I can, at least block the air from coming in. So this way I can get nice and sweaty by the time this thing is over.
Like the good old-fashioned days.
That's what I had to do. My AC's off as well. I'm in my basement, which feels like the ninth circle of hell right now.
Yeah, I should actually do the same thing. Just move downstairs in my basement. So that'd be much
See,
better.
I was just telling Mike, I'm up on the third floor of my place. The AC's on right now, no kidding, 77, and I feel great. Like, this is awesome.
Wow.
Well, good. That's so nice, Earl. That sounds delightful.
I don't understand
I'm
the
sitting
whole.
here like
it's
half naked.
77.
Yeah, 77 to me is hot.
No,
when
it's actually good. It's actually
day-
very good.
The day I left Texas, it was 102 degrees
Mm.
on the thermometer. Not even like the heat index. It was 102 degrees straight.
Oh.
The day I drove out of Texas.
Yikes.
The day I drove out of Texas.
That's
I know,
yeah,
right?
that's
That was
right.
good.
It sounds
Yeah,
like
that's a good song name, huh?
So it's good to have everybody back.
oh, here we
Yeah.
go.
By the way, congrats, Earl. I know you
I-
did the whole move and everything. That's
I
great.
almost was not here. You were almost three dads in a podcast, because the trip was fraught with peril. and I'm not even exaggerating. We blew a tire on the car hauler that we were pulling behind the U-Haul.
I'm gonna hold on. I have to write all this stuff down because I've come up with probably about 10 really good song names at this point in time.
Don't mess with my car hauler.
Let me tell you, my life.
Oh,
This one should actually be just called Atchafalaya. Atchafalaya would be the name of this song. Because Atchafalaya, for those of you who don't know,
ass is on fire.
It's a.
That's the Lil Wayne remix.
That's the remix from Queens.
My ass is on fire.
It's a region of Louisiana. It's a long bayou across I-10, the long part of Louisiana, and the whole section is a 2-lane bridge all the way across with no exits. And right in the middle of this son of a bitch, we blew the tire on the car hauler that was holding my full-size Yukon. So we have a 26-foot U-Haul truck with a trailer behind it with my Yukon on top of it, and the trailer blows a tire in the middle of this 2-lane highway going about 75 miles an hour.
Wow.
One of the most terrifying experiences of my life.
Rocking and rolling.
Yeah. I can't even say it's a miracle that we survived. It's a miracle we didn't kill anybody else on that bridge.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
Just that no one got hurt is just, the odds are staggering. So yeah, it was, and shout out to whoever U-Haul uses for tire replacement in Louisiana. That dude came out with and replaced the tire on this truck without unloading the trailer, which is one of the coolest things I'd ever seen in my life. He brought out 4 hydraulic jacks and lifted the whole thing up, still attached to the truck with my Yukon still on it, popped it right up in the air like it was nothing, and swapped that tire out. It was really cool.
Whoa. Gotta love hydraulics.
Yeah. So I made it here. And
I wonder if U-Haul pays those guys by tire popped, because it might have been the guy who blew out your tire in the first place.
They are.
Shit, you got here quick, man. Yeah, I just sit on the bridge there.
he just throws out nails.
That's brilliant.
Is that a pellet gun in your dash? No.
Fine.
It's just a toy.
What's with the scope on it,
Well,
though?
I'm glad you made it, Earl. That. I probably would have shit my pants doing that.
So glad you made it.
No.
So
the
John
shit
didn't
my
shit his
pants.
pants.
Oh man, yeah.
The shit my pants moment was getting out of the truck on the freeway to assess the damage to figure out if we could get the truck off the freeway. Yikes. That was the really scary part. Like, yeah, I'm gonna have nightmares about that forever.
Yeah, I'm sorry, man. That's awful.
I'm here, and I'm now a semi-nor'easter, I guess. So,
welcome closer.
Yeah.
You're a lot closer to us now.
You're in the mid-Atlantic state.
That's right.
Excuse me. So how far outside of DC are you now? An hour and change?
No. Like 35 minutes.
Oh wow! So you're real close. So
yeah.
Okay. I mean, are you in this? Can you hop on the metro there, or that's outside of where you are?
No, I'm at the extended end of the new metro. Metro actually stretches all the way out to Dulles now.
Nice.
So and they're almost done with the new station at Tyson's Corner. So, Dulles, the Silver Line on the metro is really nice.
Nice.
Pretty sweet.
Yeah. Oh, this place is...
But you don't go into the office, or do you now?
I'm supposed to start more often to get some FaceTime.
Yeah, once you're closed, there's no excuse.
Yeah, like especially when they do the all hands and stuff. They want me to have some FaceTime with the bosses, the new bosses.
Yep.
The new bosses.
It's a good thing.
But they're located in Virginia. They're not in DC, right?
Yeah. They're all within. I mean, it's all within a 30-mile radius.
Mhm.
So
What are we talking about?
To the Talkin Dads.
Yeah. Thanks, John. Why don't you kick it off?
Fuck that.
Yeah, fuck you.
You're the voice.
Fuck you. Where you?
I just like making fun of you doing it.
Well,
That's
what
true.
I'm saying. Well, let's just have you do it then, if you know. All right. So, it's Talkin Dads podcast. I'm Mike.
I'm Lou.
And John.
this is Earl.
And this is episode 7. I still need to edit episode 6. So updates from everybody. John, where the fuck you been?
So of late, I've been cleaning up a lot of baby puke. If we're gonna,
no.
yeah. So my kid got a stomach bug. So it's been a lot of surprise throw ups.
Was it caused by anything like hand?
Probably
foot,
some other kid from daycare, probably. But like he looks,
Ugh.
and the funny thing about those is that they look and act completely fine. They don't really have an appetite, but it's not really out of the ordinary because sometimes they can just be like, no, I don't want to eat. But the cool thing is that when you go pick them up from daycare and like you bring them home and you're playing with them and they're like, yeah, and then they look at you in the eye and they freeze for a second and then they're like, blah! And it's like right in your face.
Oh my god, that was
And
right
it's
in my
crazy
eardrum.
how powerful they are. It's yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Projectile.
So it's been off and on for like the last week or so. Kind of not really sure when it's gonna happen, but
So wait, it's lasted about a week so far. Is that normal?
yeah, I mean maybe not a week. It's been like probably like 5 days. I think we're at the tail end of it now, which is thank God.
So Earl and Lou, have you found that to be a normal time frame for something like that?
I'm assuming this. I don't believe it. Sorry.
You haven't had this problem
I'm
yet?
just having a hard time understanding. But I've certainly had my daughter got sick, and she had the flu about a year and a half ago, and that was a scary time. And it was probably about 5 days, a good 3 days before she kind of right-sided herself. Definitely the first couple of days were tough, but that's when she had the flu. I've never experienced like kind of like she goes to school and then coming back and then having an episode where she actually vomits. I would at that point I might think I would keep her. I would probably say, okay, time to stay home.
Yeah.
So I can't say that I've experienced that. Sorry.
I mean, usually the question is she running a fever while it's happening? If she's not, usually like 48, 72 hours, it runs its course. Unless you got kids passing it around. That's the problem. Is when you send them back to school and that bug is just getting recycled. And
I mean that must have been it, maybe, because like they said that a lot of kids kind of came and went with it, but who knows? I mean, he had a fever the first 2 days, which we kept him home. We went to the doctor, but then he didn't have a fever at all. But he would still come home. Sometimes do a little vomit episode. It would be caused by the last kind of 3 days has been initiated by coughing, so we're thinking that maybe it morphed into something.
Is it
so
like violent coughing
it could be
episodes
that.
too?
Yeah, and then the puking started that way, and then the diarrhea came. So it's kind of like, is it a little bit?
So
of
he still has some sort of
yeah,
bug
something's
addiction.
going on. He doesn't really
Yeah.
have the fever. Like the last couple of days, he hasn't had a fever. That's why, when we had him here, he acts normal, except at night he still gets the diarrhea and he has those coughing fits, which makes him throw up. So it's weird. It's like it's hard to tell what to do.
My kids always would. My kids would always. The only time I can say I've experienced the coughing is when they're in a car and then they go, and then that's like they get sick and they throw up.
Yeah.
I've certainly seen that enough, but that's not any comparison to what you're going through for sure. So.
No, I don't think it's anything like serious. I think it's just changed. I think he got sick and his body weakened, and then he just it probably morphed into something else, and it's just been kind of like an ongoing little bug that he's had.
So does it seem like there's an end in sight soon, or?
Yeah, I think he's at the, like I said, I feel like today is fine and last night was fine, but before then, for good, this is the 5th day, so for like previous 4 days have been up and down. Mm-hmm. But yeah, but Lou, like what you're saying, usually the first 2 for him were the worst, and we didn't bring him in there, but it's just, he would be running around, everything would be fine, and then coughing, puke, and then diarrhea at night, and it's like, oh man, you just feel so bad for the little guy.
Yikes. All right. Lou, what about you? What you been up to?
Well, I don't think John's actually told everything. He's just described what he did for the last week, and I think we've been away for a little bit longer than that.
Sounds pretty exhausting.
So,
all right. Well,
but John, I want to go back a little bit further into what John did before the last couple of weeks, like for fun that had nothing to do with
babies.
Babies, yeah. So I'd like to hear a little bit about what John did over the summer so far.
I guess one of the funner things I've done outside of, I guess, kids or family is I've started to do home brewing. I don't know if any of you have ever tried to home brew some beer.
I thought you were going to talk like video games or okay.
Oh, like
applications. I got all excited for a second. I'm like, tell me more.
Well, I do tinker with apps, but it's there's nothing going on that front really. Just kind of self-learning, but yeah, I made my first 2 batches of beer. The latest one is a double IPA. I'm very excited to try. We just bottled it, so it's I'm very much looking. Yeah, another at least 2 weeks, but I guess it depends. Double IPAs, I think I heard, can vary depending on what kind you're making. So the one that we have, I think it's at least 2 weeks, but we might give it 3 just to give it a little bit of carbonation in the bottle. Sure. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, we're excited to try that, and we also did I think like a brown ale, which is the first one we did. It was only a gallon batch, but that one's actually just ready, I think, as of yesterday. So
nice.
We're gonna pop those open probably tomorrow. So
Didn't you go away? Was I mistaken?
Did I go away?
Yeah,
you did. When did we last talk?
The last time you were involved with the podcast was before you went to Italy. So.
Oh, that was there
we go. All right, yeah, for sure. I did do some traveling, Lou. That's a good call. Yeah, went to Rome. We brought it. Actually, the trip started as a surprise 60th birthday trip for my mom. And we got it all set up, ready to go. We booked all the tours in advance. She's a fairly religious Roman Catholic person, so we got her a private VIP tour of the Vatican, which was a lot of fun. But we ended up going for a total of
super private VIP. What does that entail?
Well, it's a small group. It's basically the tour guide just does the group that you specified. So it was myself, Lauren, my sister, and my mom who went.
Oh, that's very exclusive. Holy crap!
Yeah, and it was a full 7-hour tour. Took us around. There was no lines that we had to wait on. He had all the private ways to get around the Vatican that kind of avoided a lot of the hustle and bustle. So it was pretty cool.
Did you bring back some holy water?
We did. Well, we bought a lot of trinkets back that we dipped in holy water there, but nice. No, I was going to. But if you actually look at the holy water at St. Peter's, it's kind of. I didn't really want to touch it.
Did you go for a confession before or after the tour? Or was that part of the tour?
I did think about it, but I think it was actually closed when we went there. I asked, actually, because I asked for my mother also, because I wanted to see what was available for her to do. And unfortunately that day, I think a lot of things were closed because I think they were doing something special
was
there.
It Sunday?
I think it was. No, it was a Tuesday.
That was a joke. By the way.
Yeah, but the mass.
Inside church joke.
But they do masses there every day. It's not just like it's always super booked there. But yeah, Sunday's obviously pretty well. I think St. Peter's Square usually gets super packed on Sundays because that's when the I think off season that's when the Pope actually comes and says hi. But I think in the summer it's Wednesdays or something like that. But
I think he's got a house outside of town that he kind of
he goes to his summer villa. Oh, tough life for him, huh?
But making them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But beyond that, it was a lot of just
humble
sightseeing.
life. It's a humble life.
That's about it.
Cool. Well, I mean, I was excited to hear about your trip, but the homebrew stuff, that's
I honestly couldn't remember the last time we spoke. But you guys did one. You had one or two podcasts.
One.
Okay.
We did one.
So I missed one, but we haven't really done a group thing like this in like almost a month now, I guess. Then, huh?
Yeah, almost 2, I think. Earl said, right?
Yeah, it's been almost 2 months.
So I went on vacation. Did you go on vacation, Mike? You actually did something interesting while you were away, though. I mean, you could share that with the group.
I wasn't away.
So you had a baby, right? I mean, you didn't have a baby, but
not yet. That's the whole point of this damn show.
No, I was talking personally. I mean, you had surgery.
Yeah, I had surgery. That's right. I had a hernia surgery. It was fun. That's all it is.
So you gave birth to your lower intestine, or
yeah, I birthed my lower intestine through my abdominal muscles, which was unpleasant to say the least. But I'm healed up. I'm good. I'm ready to go. We painted the baby room. We did that.
What color did you pick?
White, because we still don't know the gender of the baby or the sex of the baby. So we are trying to. Well, Caitlin wants to keep it a secret, but we think there's a second slip up now on the sex of the baby. So, John, I don't know if you heard last time, but we had one slip up from the doctor that may have indicated. Oh no, I dropped something. That may have indicated
we had one of those too. Yeah, we had one or two of those as well, and every time they were both alluding to a male.
Yeah.
Same. But there's no way to tell if it was actually an accident or not now.
Well, yeah.
If it was a girl, then we could be like, okay, they definitely fucked up. But
in retrospect,
now maybe it was a slip up. At least one of them had to have been.
Look, I'd like to hear yours here. I'll tell you the first slip up. The first slip up was, we don't know if it's a true slip up or not, but the doctor had mentioned you should probably consider prepping or planning for circumcision if that's the route you want to go.
Wait a minute. What happened? What was the thing that started that conversation before, though?
Well, nothing. It just led into it. It's like, here's a couple things you want to consider. Yeah, here's a couple things you want to consider.
Circumcisions.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Well, so I guess you could take that a couple different ways, though. I mean, it could just be an informable, like, if it is a boy, these are things you might want to do.
Well, exactly, and that's kind of what the doctor said. If it is a boy, yeah. But then but
I can understand. Yeah, I see your point.
The second one was, do you have names picked out? And Caitlin responded with, yeah, we have names picked out for the boy and the girl. They're like, so do you have middle name? Yeah, we have middle names. Do you have middle name for the boy?
Yeah, it's a pretty obvious one.
So I think they're kind of.
I think I told that wrong.
It was close enough. That one for sure might have been a slip up. I would say that's probably the most probable one. That's a slip up.
Yeah. So what were yours, John? What were the slip ups that you had?
Both of them were actually. Lauren didn't notice, I think, one of them, but they're both around a similar circumstance. They were talking about, I think. Both of them were close to, I think, around 8 months of Lauren being pregnant. And it was just being like, I think one of the conversations was around being prepared and what you need to do as like in the final stages of pregnancy before labor. Just going over some of the final things you want to check for. And then I think the lady was like, yeah, you might want to prepare the room, if he's, and she kept like twice in that conversation, she used the pronoun he. And I was like, so what are you trying to say? Because she like just read his medical record right before she talked to us. So I was like, are you telling us that it's a boy? And she's like, no. She's like, I might have just defaulted to saying that as a pronoun, but he's, and then she said it again. I was like, all right. So I don't think Lauren caught that one, but the other one was around something else. It was about post labor, next steps that we had to do, giving us a little bit heads up of some of the tests they want to run after it's born. In a similar situation, they kept saying he, and we were like, well,
giveaways. Well, so... didn't you guys have like a magical encounter at one point too from some sort of seer or something? a magical visionary.
It was after the.
You mean like a gypsy experience?
Like exactly like a gypsy.
Yeah. No, it was. I wasn't there for it. It was the day. So it was Lauren. Every year she coordinates and puts together the big investor meeting for her company. She's the event coordinator. So she was down there, I think, a day or so in advance and before I came. But apparently she was setting up the event by the pool area at this resort. And then there's this lady who, and the team that she works with, she knew all the team members. She usually like every year works with the same people. This year there's this one, like, I wouldn't say crotchety, but older woman came up to her that she never saw before in the Ritz. It's at the Ritz-Carlton, at the Ritz uniform, saying, and at the time she wasn't really showing at all either. Then this lady came up to her and she was like, "Excuse me, this might seem really weird, but are you pregnant?" And Lauren's like, "Yeah," because I think at that point too, she wasn't actually she didn't tell her company that she was officially pregnant yet either. So she told this lady, she's like, yeah, actually I am. That's kind of crazy that you ask. And then her only response to that was, "It's going to be a boy," and congratulations. And then she, like, basically, from what Lauren tells me, she like walked away. I don't know if it was into a mist or like vanished into a vortex, but she apparently just walked away. And then the rest of the event, she didn't see her. And like she told me this crazy story like when I got there, and I was like, "Oh, if you see her, point her out. I want to see her." Never saw her again, and I didn't even see anybody that remotely fit the description. So it's kind of crazy.
Makes you wonder if she hallucinated that event too, right?
Yeah, kind of. Until I think the year.
Although I don't think so.
That, she was like, "I think that might have been the lady, but I don't know. I can't. I don't know. Who knows?"
That's crazy. My grandmother has some sort of magical math equation, but it's oddly enough, it's worked. Who's opening up the bag of chips? Because it's past dinner time, guys. No snacks past 8.
Unless it's a bag of M&Ms.
Is that you, John?
No, it's not.
Okay, so that's pretty fun. You
might hear like or something like that from my end.
It would spill all over the place.
Yes.
Earl, have you ever had a mystical encounter with anybody regarding your children?
You have to put that into perspective.
No.
This is the Talkin Dads podcast.
I'm the ultimate cynic, and that I've never had a supernatural experience. And if someone came up and said it's going to be a boy, my response would be, "Congratulations on your 50-50 guess." I mean, come on. You flipped a coin. And
unless you literally gave birth, and you'd be like, "Wait a second."
Right.
Unless this person was also a doctor and they were holding up the actual, information in their hands. No, really, it's going to be a doy. I just happen to be a clairvoyant.
It's going to be a doy.
It's going to be a doy.
Yeah, no ghosts, no brujas, no old gypsy seers in my life.
That's great.
There's unfortunately there's the only magic in my existence is on my TV.
It's one of those things that I've always wanted to actually experience, but I never experienced it. So John and I always talk about how we wanted to start our own ghost adventure crew. Right. Oh, jeez. There was a ghost. Should. I still think so too. Like, just invent our own ghost hunting tools and go ghost hunting.
Hey, Earl, speaking of which, you have a new house. Do you have any ghost stories in your new home?
Are you afraid of ghosts?
Maybe
or the paranormal?
Maybe we can all come over and do
John
a seance.
and I are the ghost smashers.
No, I got one room that always stinks when it goes by it, but that's a teenager. There's no mystery there.
You like the temperature drops and it stinks.
Like, yeah. I mean, if the temper drops in my house, it's because my teenage daughter's pissed off at me. Like, there's no great mysteries here.
Lou,
do
you have any mystical encounters?
Regarding my children?
Yeah.
Not that I can recall. No, there's nothing.
I'm sorry, Earl. What were you saying? I cut you off. I didn't mean to.
I was gonna say the weird thing about this place is it's almost too perfect. Like, this is the quietest, nicest neighborhood I've ever lived in, and it kind of freaks me out in that way.
Like Stepford scary?
Yeah, well, like Disney's scary. Like there's animals all over and wildlife, and there's a bubbling brook out behind the house, and it's just weird. So
I don't. Civilization is very.
It actually sounds quite nice.
It's called the Northeast.
Well, that's what
it sounds like you made it.
I don't know where you've been, where you were living before, but yeah.
Well, that's my damage.
I don't
that's
have a
my
babbling
damage
brook.
is that like I always expect a dark side to everything, and this place, it's weird. That and Tab and I were talking about that the other night, because she grew up, in a poor part of Houston, and this is the nicest place she's ever lived too, and it kind of creeps us out a little bit, and we're having to reconcile that. Like we're not used to everything being this clean and this nice, and there's rabbit, deer, and chipmunks, and purple trees, and it's
purple trees. What are you guys smoking?
Yeah, well,
That's the good
nothing
stuff.
mystical going on in your life. Come on, man. No gypsies.
I mean, it's kind of Disney-esque here, and we keep looking for the darkness underneath, and we haven't found it yet.
Don't look underneath.
Well, it's called How Far Are You from the White House?
Oh, that's fair. Actually, our game that we play right now when we go for walks around the neighborhood is trying to guess which houses the hoarders live in, because every neighborhood's got one.
That's awesome. Have you found one?
No, not yet. But we look for clues, like when people leave their garages open, or a hint through a window. We're looking for like stacks of newspaper, or one too many
that's
cats.
usually a good sign.
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Oh man, John, have you found any in your neighborhood?
I can't say that of any home. Just because around us, it's kind of hard to look into places, and I've tried.
The bars
me,
on the window. Yeah.
No, it's just like you're kind of far away from the houses to see inside. But I can say that we have like hoarder cars. I don't know if you guys have seen these before, but there's like old cars that are usually parked in random spots in the neighborhood. They're just filled to the max, which is random junk.
I've seen that all around New York and New Jersey.
Yeah.
It's almost like they use their car as a shed.
Yeah, so there's like at least 4 of them that I've seen as regulars around by me. So I can only imagine that they're wherever they live. If it's not like a hole in that car somewhere, like like an igloo of garbage, if they actually live somewhere else, I can only imagine it being the same.
If they're parked over a manhole, it's possible that 4 teenage turtle brothers live down there.
Yeah, but so we got a bunch of that around by me, but I've never seen not around here, at least a house that had it, which would, I would imagine, smell weird.
Lou Corso, tell us about YouSuggested.com. And You Suggested.
Nothing mystical about You Suggested.
That's what I was wondering.
No hoarders of any kind.
Although we can suggest them.
But you can suggest anything you want. So, I think best way to describe it is if you're a brand and you want to get information from your consumers about changing your products to meet their needs, you can work with us. And if you're a consumer and you want to message a brand about a product that you actually think should change, you use us. So that's probably the best way to describe it. And if you come on to yousuggested.com and you don't see the brand you want, let us know. And we can go after that brand and get some information and try to help you out.
So again, we'd like to thank You Suggested for being our first and only sponsor at the moment, but first sponsor, definitely. So thanks, Lou, and thanks, You Suggested.
Hey, no worries, man. My pleasure.
You're welcome. John, tell us about You Suggested.
It's the world's suggestion box where you can go and make a suggestion if you have an idea or a thought about a product that you might want to improve. You can come there and make that suggestion.
Amazing.
So, and if you don't see the product or the client, the company there, you let us, let Lou know, and he'll definitely, reach out to them and get the information needed so you can make that suggestion.
I like that.
That's awesome.
That was brilliant, John.
That was good.
That is brilliant.
You're welcome. Yeah, yousuggested.com.
Earl, tell us about spirits.
Spirits? They don't exist.
All right. We need. What do you guys want to talk about? We need a topic here.
I got vodka. I got.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's the spirit I want.
Those are good spirits. Oh, first birthdays. Actually, let's talk about this because this is.
Wait a minute. Wait.
No, I'm telling you why. No, I'm telling you why. This is that's our target audience and my target audience. Okay, so shut up and take
your target audience is 1-year-old.
It's my wife. It's my wife.
The boss has spoken.
I think we can get to that, but we need to just catch up to where, Mike, you are. I mean, like, where are you? Where is Caitlin? How far away? We need an update before we go to first birthdays. Fine with going to first birthdays, but I think we need the update first.
The update of where we are. Well, what is it, 50 days away, Caitlin? We're about 50 days away from having a child.
TikTok.
8 weeks left.
Okay.
Yeah, it's crazy. October 4th is still the due date. The one question, actually, Caitlin brought it up the other day. So we have this thing called the stress test, right, that happens before. It's like a week before the due date. What happens if you fail the stress test? Do they not let you have the baby? Or what is that all they
probably
like, how do they do that? Like, put a blocker, gate it up?
They'll probably put you into where they're going to say, you know what, I think we'll have to deliver this baby in a different way. But how? What about the size at this point in time? Do we know?
Well, the size of the baby, it's like the size of a baby now, right? I think at this point, it's got to be about 5 pounds.
Okay, so I mean that's a description that we like to hear.
5.5 pounds, yeah.
Okay.
We don't know exactly the weight, but it's like right around there. So it's on target to be an average size, which is nice. Because I was scared for a little bit there that it could be a ginormous baby. It still could possibly happen, and I apologize to my wife in advance again for that. But hopefully we stay on track with the average size.
All right. And have you seen pictures of the baby yet?
Well, no, because we're trying to keep the gender a secret. So.
Well, you can see pictures without actually knowing the gender.
I know, but
wait. So did you wait? Quick question, Mike. Did you guys do a 3D? Did we talk about this?
No, we didn't do the 3D. We don't need to do 3D.
We did talk about it though, if I remember correct. Maybe in one of the ones. But you guys opted out of it.
Caitlin just gave me the update. Actually, 15 inches right now. That's the estimated size, and 3 pounds right now. So it's
very good.
Okay, so that's good. So it's
holy
not 5 pounds, and it's 15 inches. So
yeah,
right now a long, thin baby.
Like I was. I was a long, thin baby.
Like a big banana.
I was 24 inches and 9 pounds 1 ounce when I was.
Yeah, that's not long. That's just big.
That's not thin.
Yeah.
For 24 inches, that's thin, isn't it?
Yeah, well, sure. He was 7 feet tall, but he was only 300 pounds. So, come on.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
I actually know the answer to the stress test question now.
Okay.
The stress test is it's to show how well she and the baby can handle normal labor. If it's fail, you get a pass fail. If you fail, they'll probably suggest a cesarean.
Right. Yeah.
That's what it is.
Something different. Yeah. Exactly.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes more sense.
That's what I had alluded to by saying they'll probably opt for a different type of a method for delivery. Yeah.
So Lou and you, correct. Good job, guys. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
So, what else are you looking for from me, Lou? What other information you need?
You know, we didn't hear over the last couple of months, so there's obviously a lot of updates that happened, and that was perfect. We actually know it's 15 inches, 3 pounds. We don't know the sex. We were kind of starting to do a little bit of a vote on it. I'd like to take it back.
Yeah, we that's what I was just
going to
bring back.
Tinge,
you have that on You Suggest It right now, right?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, but I don't want to tinge the vote. So we don't know. Let's just basically put it out there. We don't know. There's some people playing with our heads. Potentially what it is. So we don't know.
Messing with my brains.
Yeah. So we actually know at this point in time. Happy, healthy. Everybody's good. You're good. The baby's good. Caitlin's good, and we could go on to the first birthday.
Yes.
Okay. Quick question though, Mike. Yeah. Before we do that, did you get the postpartum talk yet, or?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Have you not heard that yet?
That's a real good question.
I have not heard that yet. Why?
Well, I think around this time, or maybe in a week or two or so, like I'm sure whoever the healthcare provider is gonna talk to you and Caitlin about postpartum and the early signs and symptoms of what that looks like, and then specifically to you, of the things that you are not responsible for, but what you can help out looking for, and trying to help that situation along.
Huh.
Well, I'm going to go a step further and say you are responsible for.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That if postpartum sets in, it's very hard to see from the inside when you're in the middle of it. So it is your responsibility as a partner to be aware of the symptoms and be prepared to help her and yourself, because it can happen to you too. If it sets in, it's a real serious thing. So when they talk to you, listen.
So I've never heard of it happening to the father. But what are the symptoms of that? And what I actually never heard of that.
It's depression. It's an emotional depression that. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Sean. I didn't mean to step on you.
No, I was agreeing with you. Actually, it's like kind of the same symptoms as like being manic depressive. It's your sleep patterns change, your mood changes, you lose like all your old if you had hobbies, or all your old things that gave you any enjoyment no longer give you any joy. You kind of get fuzzy. You have like a hard time making decisions, and basically you stop kind of taking you don't stop taking care of yourself. You just lose interest in taking care of yourself as well. And worry, like if you notice a lot of worry, like you're not going to be a good mother, or I guess a good father even, all these things, if you start putting them together, those are all early signs of postpartum, possible postpartum. And like as Earl said, it's like a slippery slope. If that starts and nobody's helping it, you get to a pretty dark place, and it gets pretty scary. So. That's why they try to introduce the topic earlier on, especially right before. I guess around this time. I actually forget exactly when they started bringing it up. Pretty not intensely, but often, like almost every visit, they would bring it up. Like, have you had discussion about it? Do you understand the implications of what the symptoms are and all that? And I think it's around now. You said like 8 weeks out, so it's probably a good idea to at least educate yourself on what those symptoms are and what you can do to help out. But Earl, I didn't cut you off. I don't know if you had anything to add to that or anything.
No, that was perfect. It's I know we try to keep things light, but it's a real thing that there's some real dark stories about, and that may be actually something that when I sit down and record another one, I may actually do a little section on it, because there's some really good and interesting stories surrounding postpartum. Given the man's, the father, I should say, just man, the father's role in the whole situation. Wow. If they're not talking to you about it, you need to be asking questions about it at this point.
Yeah, it's good to keep in mind. And what I've heard is that you have to, it doesn't have to be at the forefront of your mind 100% of the time, but it's good to think always proactively about the situation. It's obviously, it's always better to be proactive than reactive, right? So it's better to, if you start thinking that possibly there could be something, instead of trying to react to it, I guess what I'm saying, it goes beyond just like pep talks and being like, oh, you're a good mom. It's like try to show them how good they're doing, or before they even ask, or if they have a concern, you give them props for doing something the right way. It's just being proactive and keeping it in the back of your mind, but always something to look out for, is what kind of like I guess a very high level of what I was told. But
yeah, I mean that's something I wasn't even thinking about, to be honest with you. So I'm glad glad you guys said something so I could.
Well, and a lot of people glaze over it, but it could be, like as Earl said, it could be a very it could be a very bad thing. It doesn't happen, as quite often. But again, I've heard it happens more often than you think, to varying degrees. So it is something to consider.
Of 6, just to give you my personal statistics, of 6, it happened 50% of the time. So
there you go. Yeah.
So that's 3 kids.
Yep.
Sorry. I don't know why that took me so long to do that math.
Long day, man. It's a weekday. It's a school night.
That's right. This is the first time the Talkin Dads are recording on a Wednesday night.
I know, it's weird.
It is weird. Because I almost feel like after this I'm going to go relax and whatnot, but then I'm about to switch back on my work computer and check out some things. Because Earl and I have take 3 of a deployment this weekend. Woo!
Oh, God.
Third time's a charm, I hear.
Oh,
I hear,
God.
you know. So
Yeah.
go for it. I don't know, you'll win. Go
Yes.
team.
Go team.
You'll win.
Don't stop.
Believe it. All right.
Play
stop.
play like a champion today.
Okay.
That's a good one.
All right, champ. Sport. Thanks, Coach. Thanks, Coach Mazowski.
Okay. So what were we're heading into first birthdays, I guess.
Well,
so
I guess so. Is there anything else? Now you guys got me thinking. Is there anything else I should be worried about or thinking about before? I mean, one of the things that did happen recently, actually, Caitlin's about to get her Tdap, and the doctor called it Tdap, but the doctor mentioned nothing about me getting the Tdap. They said usually it's for the grandparents and the mother, and to prep the child for like the first month of its life, giving it some extra stuff.
Okay.
But definitely need to get it.
But I'm guessing that I need to go get it too. So I'm going to talk to my
unless
doctor.
you already have it. Yeah,
You can get it right in the hospital. They'll give it to you.
They'll give it to you that day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They will?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, then I'll
Yeah.
take care of
Just
it.
go downstairs. They'll give you a little slip, and they say, "Go to office number such and such on floor such and such," and they'll give you a shot.
I don't know. It's best to get it done beforehand, though, if you have the time.
I don't want to. I don't want to
You
miss anything.
you might forget, or you might not want to leave her side, or
They
something.
don't let you forget. They'll ask you, "Do you have
No,
a shot?"
I know they won't basically let you. From my experience, they won't let you back in the room if somebody's confirmed it. But
You
but
have
I
to
don't know.
have
I
confirmed.
guess
I think you have to have paperwork to actually confirm it.
so you need to show your record, which I had to do, obviously as well. But I think it's just better to get it done if you can find the time.
Well, I have a checkup with my GP before then anyway, so I'll ask about it then.
Perfect. And most likely they'll have it in stock right there, so they could probably just administer it right on the spot as well. It's a pretty common thing.
Fun times. Okay, I guess we can talk about the first birthdays now. So Caitlin was asking if you guys had any thoughts about this. First birthdays, what the expectations are usually, what you guys think about first birthday parties where it's kind of blown out of proportion, or like christenings, the same type of thing. It's like professionally developed photos on a website and a gift registry or whatever. Kind of a crazy trend that we're starting to see among other folks our age having children, and those children coming up to a first birthday. So, John, I know you've already tackled the first birthday, and I know yours wasn't crazy. Yours was fun. It was a nice little birthday party for the kid. You gave him some cake. He threw his face in it. It was fantastic. But,
pretty much exactly that. Yeah, I mean, we did a little bit of research about what it's supposed to mean and what you might want to do, but we tried to just, like you said, we kept it really simple. We wanted to have just really close friends and family there. If there's if other family members had kids, also they were more than welcome to bring them. Some people really want other kids to be there for their first birthday, which they'll never probably remember anyway. But some of them prefer that, or a registry even. We didn't do any of that. We just wanted to keep it real easy for everybody too. It's like we're going through a lot of stuff, and we didn't want to make people feel like they had to get more gifts after a year being born. I don't know. I guess we just wanted to keep it easy for the most amount of people as possible. Close family, friends, like I said, just smash cake for sure. That was probably our only biggest rule. He needs to smash cake into his face.
That was really funny. How excited he got with the cake. He was like, "Okay, right. I got this."
Yeah. But you're right. I mean, people can really go over the top with it, and people take it very seriously. But I couldn't talk about that. We just I just kept it simple.
Have you been to like a first birthday party that's been crazy?
I've been to one other actual first birthday. That one was a little bit more organized. It had like an itinerary. It was still relatively small and simple, close family and friends, but it did have this is when we're gonna do arts and crafts, and this is when we're gonna have the clown. And I'm like, why are you getting like the kid's not even? Yeah, they got a clown, or it was like, or maybe a magician. It was like a clown magician, maybe, or magician clown, or they had some kind of like a little event. Like it was out in like someplace in the suburbs of New Jersey a while ago, and like the big difference was it was just more production. It was like they had a schedule, and they had obviously a little bit more people, but they're also relatively close family and friends, but they were just a lot more organized, and they did have a register as well, because we bought something for them off that. So
registries make it easy, I guess, if you're just like, this, if you want to buy a gift, this is what we suggest. I'm going to go ahead and say that part makes it a little bit easier, right? If you want to bring a gift for this child who's not going to remember this gift, this is what we think he probably needs: diapers and or a basketball hoop. For me. But yeah, I don't know. Too much organization, too much like a magician or whatnot. Unless there's other kids there that are maybe 2, 3, 4 years old, if you're expecting a lot of kids like that at the party, then entertainment, I'm going to say that's something I don't really see us doing at all. Short of just putting the radio on,
Right.
Lou.
Well, that's what I thought too.
Lou or Earl, what do you guys think?
Earl?
Oh, I'll go. I actually feel I don't tend to get invited to kids' first birthday parties.
Megan's Law? No, I'm just kidding. Huh? I'm just kidding. That was a bad joke. I'm cutting that out.
It's funny though. No, because I kind of think they're dumb.
So people know that you think they're dumb. That's
why.
Okay.
Yeah. Like when we did ours. It was, hey, we're gonna have a party for us on their first birthday, because that's what it's about. It, like, the first birthday, like John said, your kid's not going to remember. They don't have actual friends yet. So all those extra kids that are around are there just for their parents to have them there and be entertained by money that you're spending. So, I mean, that's the reality of it. That's true. Like the thing with the cake, you get the cool pictures. The grandparents, have a great time. You and your spouse, and if the brothers and sisters, whatever your family is, hey, has a good laugh. It's a party for y'all to celebrate making it to that 1 year. But let's be honest, the kid doesn't know. The kid, hey, cake, and this tastes sweet, and this is awesome.
Right.
But until they get to 2 or 3, and then you can make it about them, then that's when they become more important. But like I've been to a couple. I've been to, over the years, a couple of the big, what you're talking about, the to-dos, like with the magician clown. And I was just, I was miserable and angry the whole time. And the longer I was there, the angrier I was. Because it's wasteful and it's silly to me.
Right. Yeah. And it was, the one I went to was a dry first birthday party. So
oh no.
I had even less fun. Yeah.
So you had to watch the magician clown dry.
I'm pretty sure the zero birthday party is not going to be dry for us.
I guarantee you the magician clown wasn't dry, because the only way you get through that party.
I'm pretty sure how terrible he was. Yeah, I guarantee you there's something going on there. But.
Were you sitting there the whole time, John? Like, I'm not impressed, sir.
Yeah, basically, I just stand in the back with my arms crossed in front of me, be like,
show me another trick.
It's in his pocket.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's like I tend to be a Grinch about it, so I tend to get excluded from those kinds of activities, and I don't mind. It's just not my thing.
So you're invited next year? There's not going to be I can guarantee you there's going to be no magician clown. There'll probably be retro video games and things that.
But that's just it. Is when you do this, you'll realize, it's about you and Caitlin. And her parents and your parents getting to this milestone, with your baby. It's not, your baby doesn't know it's turning 1 yet.
Right.
And it isn't aware of the idea of a birthday yet. So, at that point, it's a party to celebrate, that year, but it's not a party for the kid. It's a party for everybody else.
No, that's true. Now, what about with your own kids? What did you do for them? And, but the other question is, too, these folks that have, I guess this was the question for people with multiple children, but the folks that have like the crazy parties, like what kind of precedents are they setting there, right? The crazy first birthday party. Sure. And then what's the expectation for the rest of your kids?
Oh, yeah. Like
it's almost not fair. Like when you look back in the albums, it's like I'm the third of four. I'm pretty sure there was a first birthday party for my oldest, and I think by the time they got to me, it was like, here's a plate of lasagna for everybody. I'm sure they had a candle and a cake, but it wasn't any sort of extravagant thing,
Well, all of mine, like the beginning, the oldest kids, because we were so broke, they got a single round, cake from. At that time, it was probably Food Lion, or Albertsons. It cost us like $6, and it's kind of stayed the same. Whatever we can find pre-made in the little cooler that looks tasty for the kid, and they can smash their face into it. That's all that matters.
That is all that matters.
We take some pictures.
That's all I want for my 35th birthday.
Have dinner and.
No, that's the way to do it, I think.
That's pretty much how my 40th birthday is going to go too, by the way.
Which, by the way, is coming up.
It is, in fact.
Happy early birthday, Earl.
I know.
This is the happy birthday podcast episode for Earl, guys.
Thank you.
Just so you know. Earl hasn't been a baby for 40 years come this Friday, right?
Correct.
Friday.
So the magician clown's going to be there on Saturday morning, Earl.
During the release, yeah.
The magician clown.
That's going to be us. We're going to be the magician clowns.
Oh, God.
I'm sorry, buddy.
What can I do?
Hey, it's better than my birthday, right? We had the release that didn't happen.
That's true.
Except we were on the phone the whole entire weekend. Super fun. Lou, what about you? Did your kid just go, a bunny?
Yeah, I stopped inviting Earl over because he just was not very happy every time I invited him. And
That's
John was pissed because I didn't serve a drink one time. And the problem was I thought he was drunk to begin with. So I just
refused
to serve him. Everybody else.
So wait, the question is, why the hell didn't you invite me?
So, well, I didn't think you were available. So, okay. That was the only reason why. Yeah, I think you keep it small, keep it tight, keep it smart. And, my kids had a blast, but they, like these guys, they smashed their fingers and everything. And then, it was nice to see the family, get the family to come on down and stuff like that. So I was in Hoboken at the time. So it's like the biggest problem was people had to come down there and park for $20, so that was, it limited people. So, and then it's, I got people all over New Jersey. So it's an hour and a half, 2 hour drive sometimes. So, but it was nice to see everybody. I think that's what it really was about, was just about getting family together, celebrating that first.
That seems to be the
yeah, it was family oriented. Yeah. That's really what it's about. And, you reached a milestone and you basically come on through, and we had it at the same place, and the guys did a great job. And, we were happy because, we did spend a few bucks, but it was on alcohol and stuff like that, and food. But it was nice. It was just basically a big party to get ready to get it together. So
that's awesome.
Enjoyed it. Yeah.
So there's a couple of things that come out of this podcast, and one of them is,
well, how do you envision your kid's first birthday?
Probably very much like how you had yours, John, or how Lou is describing his, just inviting friends and close friends and family. Similar type of thing. Have the cake for the kid. Don't go crazy with the gifts because the kid's not going to, one, remember them, two, probably not need them, just getting people together to celebrate. Holy crap, we did this 1 year ago. We had a child, and it's still alive. That's really what the milestone's going to be there is we did it. We kept this baby alive. So
yeah, that's exactly what it is. I was also kind of hoping you'd ask me to be the drunken magician clown, but
Well,
I guess we'll just wait and see.
You haven't received the contract in the email yet, so it's. I was going to put a Craigslist ad out there. Oh my god. Have you ever seen those crazy Craigslist ads? It's like, I want to pay someone to dress up like a clown and drink with us all night, and an extra $50 if you pee your pants or something.
I used to see this ad on TV, and it was actually on a.
Wait, you saw that same ad on TV?
No, it was this guy that used to come on. It was, I don't know his name, Uncle whatever, Bobo, whatever the heck it was, and it was a young dude. And he must have paid a fortune, but he must have been making a good buck at these parties too. It's like, invite me over for your children's parties, blah, blah, Uncle Bobo, do all this stuff. It's like, wow. I mean, like a good 15-second spot on
that
network
was about
TV.
five or 10 years ago, right?
No, it was actually not even that long. I'd say maybe within the last 2 years even. I haven't seen it in at least 6 months. Or probably even more of a year.
I've seen something similar. It's like only in the New York, New Jersey area you see something like that. But it was kind of crazy. I was like, what the hell? How's this person actually making this much money to be able to pay for a TV spot? It doesn't matter if it's like through the cable company, but pay for a TV spot in this area? It's like, holy crap. As a clown.
I'm convinced that if you hire a clown for your kid's birthday, you don't like your kids. Like...
That's probably the truth. Or myself.
As long as his name isn't John Wayne Gacy, then I think you're.
Oh my goodness. I don't want to go there. So one of the things that's going to come out of this podcast are T-shirts, by the way. And I want folks to go on to You Suggested. Yeah, that's right. We're going to design some T-shirts and we're going to start giving them away to some of our listeners. And hopefully they'll tell more people. So if you tell more people about the podcast, we get more listeners. We reach a certain number by a certain week, we're going to start giving away some T-shirts.
I think we need to basically have a couple different versions of the logo.
Well, sure, but there's a couple things that we've said too that I think would make fantastic T-shirts. One of my favorite lines from Earl so far: the kid constantly trying to scratch his eyeballs out is his first existential crisis on this earth. What am I doing here? I think that would make a great T-shirt, although maybe a little graphic.
No, I like that. The last day I was in Texas.
Well, it's wordy, but there's got to be. Yeah, Earl's Texas song, right? Or an Earl's Corner T-shirt. I think
there was
Earl with a smoking jacket in a leather chair.
The last day I was in Texas, I think is there.
Babies smashing your face into a cake.
The day that what was it? I wrote it down about blowing the tire out in the U-Haul.
Yeah. So
I mean, there were like 15 gems that came out of that alone.
Earl's Corner is just me in a rocking chair going back and forth in the corner, like with my knees up against my chest.
Yeah.
It could be that. It's like you're like the Andy Rooney of the Talkin Dads.
No.
Did you ever notice that?
I really am. Oh, that's so sad.
No. Although, Lou, my favorite, though, from you is, I'm your bitch for the day. That's going to be the best T-shirt.
That really wasn't not a very good one. So we're going to have to come up with some others.
Yeah. So let's hear some suggestions on yousuggested.com. What's the Talkin Dads T-shirt you want to see? And the best idea, whoever wins the best idea will win the first print of that T-shirt. How's that sound, Lou? How are we going to do that?
I like it. I like it. So I don't know, but there's got to be a way of doing it. Silk screening,
Well, not making the T-shirt. I got making the T-shirt down. I'm talking about voting and and the ideas.
I think it's got to be combined. You suggested Facebook kind of thing. You know.
So we'll post our first T-shirt update about the vote and about your ideas on our Facebook page within the next month or so, and we'll get things moving from there.
I think we do it. Do we do it before you actually have do we get it out there? Do we have to reach a certain number of people that have downloaded? Maybe we actually have like that on there and 500 served or something like that, or
right now I think we were
served.
lingering at about 200 downloads across all the episodes. The most popular episodes so far, by the way, have been the Earl's Corner episodes.
That's still Earl's Corner.
Yeah, Earl's Corner for the win. So John, remember when we were all going to do?
For you people.
Why? You give good advice. I think all of you guys give good advice, actually.
We can't really compete against that now. I mean, he's clearly the winner.
Well, no.
I mean, I'm not going to do a corner and then I get one download, which is probably myself, just hearing myself.
John's
and
corner.
I'm just going to feel really bad about myself.
Don't feel bad. That's all right. No,
maybe
nobody tunes in to listen to me. I have none of the experience here. So.
All right. I'll do one if you label it as Earl's Corner. Like, wait, this isn't Earl.
Earl's
what is
Corner
this?
number 3, right? And it's going to be like a record scratching, like when Earl's starting off. It's like, hey, folks. It's like, this is John.
Yeah, just kidding.
I'm going to tell you all sorts of bad things.
Yeah, post-mortem, magician clowns, psychics. Let's go.
Post-mortem.
There's your T-shirt. Your T-shirt is the 4 guys with the clown and all the people that we talk about in the periphery behind us.
There we
Just
go.
like a cast and crew of characters.
Like the Simpsons poster.
Yeah.
I like that. That's pretty good. Just a reminder to everybody, though, we are not medical professionals, right? So everything that we say on this show, please take with a grain of salt. Please consult your physician. Please consult your mental health professional before doing anything or moving forward. Again, we are not professionals. We're just a bunch of dads and a dad-to-be just talking and shooting the shit. Trying to be helpful, but...
Yeah, if you get medical advice from a podcast, you're an asshole.
Yeah.
Wow, that's harsh, dude.
Well, unless it's a podcast from a doctor giving medical advice.
Yeah.
Right. At that point, then maybe even maybe then, I guess. Yeah.
I was gonna say doctor. There's a bunch of doctors on the radio. I don't know what I would like. Dr. Pepper.
Let's start a podcast feud with one of them.
Oh, I absolutely can. You want to do that? I'll pick a Twitter fight.
Oh, damn! Let's do it.
Talkin
Dads
Dr.
versus
Phil.
the world.
Dr. Phil.
I don't know. I'm feeling obnoxious tonight.
I'll tell you what, Dr. Phil. Yeah, he never really resolves anything, does he? Have you guys ever watched Dr. Phil?
No.
Has anybody ever resolved anything in an hour?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
That's all I need to say.
Cha.
Yeah. Cha.
Caitlin says it's only about 3 minutes.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
hey, that's a big go fuck yourself, Lou. Because it's not far off.
You're still 2 minutes ahead of me, so you're okay.
All right, so 1 minute and 7 seconds.
There you go.
2. 1 hour and 8 minutes, actually. That's where we're going to cut. All right, so what's our next topic here, guys? What do you want to talk about, Lou? Too late. Earl, what are you going to talk about?
I don't know.
I was
John?
about to say something.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, Lou. Go ahead.
I was joking on something.
Okay, John, what do you want to talk about? No, go ahead, Lou. I'm sorry. I'm being a dick. Go ahead. I'm done. Go ahead. Talk.
Let's talk about the worst team in football, the Patriots.
Oh, my God. Let's talk about the Jets' new derpy-looking quarterback. What's his name?
All right,
Sam
that's
Drundle?
fine.
Hey, man.
I'm not a Jets fan, so that's fine.
Hey, man.
Is anybody an actual Jets fan?
Yeah, John is.
There are people who claim to be Jets
sorry.
fans. Yeah.
Well, it's better than having Rapeless Burger as your...
So, ladies and gentlemen, this will be my last appearance on Talkin Dads. I am off to pursue my new profession as a Jets fan magician clown.
With a podcast.
Isn't that kind of redundant, John? You don't have to say Jets fan and magician clown, you know?
All right.
I mean,
You're a
All
Steelers
right. So
fan,
again,
Lou.
this is my last appearance. I will miss you all.
Oh, come on. All right. So seriously, what do you want to talk about, Lou?
I thought we had a couple of other ideas on the hook, and I just can't remember what the hell it was for all intents and purposes, But we kind of went through the move. We kind of went through John going off to Rome, which we found out his mother didn't get a chance to go to confession, which kind of stinks. We found out that Mike actually has a baby. It's now 3 pounds, 15 ounces. Earl's last day, 15 inches, sorry. Earl's last day out of Texas and through the Apalachicola area in Louisiana. Busted a nut,
Wow.
So
This is the best episode ever.
If anybody's still listening, I'm sorry.
No, this whole section's gonna get cut out. We do. We
have we talked about like the process of naming?
Naming? No, we have not. But have I told you the options that we have yet?
We have not. That's why.
That's a
and I'm curious about like negotiations and how you got to the point, like how everybody got to the decisions about names.
So, I'll go first if you don't mind.
No, because you don't have a kid, so you can't go first.
Well, I can go first because the names have been decided.
Is this the topic for the next episode?
No,
or
this is.
How long have we been talking?
For 45 minutes.
Time to go.
We're almost done.
Bye, Felicia.
Wait. All right. So, we're gonna talk about this. So, I took the approach of providing both a boy's name and a girl's name, and I was able to keep the boy's name option. My name's Michael Guy Gardner, and the boy, if it's a boy, will be named Michael Guy Gardner Jr. And the name that I provided if it was a girl would be Michaela Girl Gardner. Caitlin said absolutely not, and then came up with the girl's name. So now we have a boy's name and a girl's name.
What's the girl's name that she came up with?
Bryn Elizabeth Gardner.
Bryn. Okay, I like it. Irish, I think.
Yeah.
English? Irish?
Yeah.
I'm so glad she didn't let you name your little girl.
Michaela Girl Gardner. Well, Michael Guy Gardner. We're thinking Michaela Gal Gardner,
I would have paid money to see the look on her face when you pitched it. You were like, okay, listen. Michael Guy Gardner Jr. and what was the girl's first name? Michaela Girl Gardner.
Her face with Michael Guy Gardner Jr. was just kind of like okay, all right, if you really want a junior, right? And then when I said Michaela Girl Gardner, it was like stone cold look at me like, you're out of your fucking mind, right? It was that look. The absolutely not, I will stab you in the heart if you do that. And I was like, you're going to be drugged up. And then she gave me a sterner look, and that's when I was afraid for my life. So that option changed. So that's my naming story. So if it's a boy, it will be Michael Guy Gardner Jr., and if it's a girl, it would be Bryn Elizabeth Gardner.
How do you spell Bryn by any chance?
Bryn.
Okay, so let me read you this. Bryn is an up-and-coming, gentle yet substantial Welsh name that would also be effective in the middle spot. So you have to listen to the whole thing. It would also be effective in the middle spot. In Wales, it's often heard as a boy's name. Bryn entered the United States girls' popularity and list in 1999, but is outranked by Bryn, Brynn, spelling reality star Bethany Frankel named her daughter Bryn in 2010. So that's where what we have for Bryn.
What do we have from Michael?
What do we have from Michael is probably Saint Michael.
It's probably like the most overused name in the world. Earl and I have to deal with this on a daily basis. It started out on our team. I was the only Mike for a long time, and I think John, you were still working with us when I was still the only Mike, right?
Oh no, there was like 18
Mikes when I joined. Some others, but then all of a sudden we got 13 others. So now we're all last names.
So in Hebrew, in the Bible, St. Michael leads the angels against the army of Satan and becomes the patron saint of soldiers. It's been popular in the U.S. boys' name since the 1940s, although its popularity is declining.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah. So that's, I mean, it's a good name. My uncle was named Michael. I think it's a fairly substantial name. So
I think aside from me, all of you know at least 5 people named Michael.
Oh my God, yeah, they're probably all my family too.
Oh, yeah.
So I have 2 nephews that are in my family. My uncle's name was Michael, so there's 3 right there, and there's probably a few middle names running around somewhere. His name is Michael. So yeah,
That's pretty good. Okay. So who wants to go next? Talk about their naming story. Earl, you brought it up. You want to go first?
Well, I have a whole mess of them.
my name. Just choose one. Just choose one.
Well, I'll give you the most ridiculous one. First off, my name is an amalgamation of my maternal and paternal grandfathers. My first name is my paternal grandfather, and my middle name is my maternal grandfather. But my second son, his name, and he's an adult. I'm not going to say his full name because I don't want to have repercussions in his life without him having some say in it. But I lost the wager to help name him. We Rochambeaued for it, and
You did?
I swear to God, my ex-wife named him after a character on a soap opera.
Oh, that's cool. Are
we supposed to guess?
No.
No,
He said he didn't want to bring it up for.
Yeah. He's got his own life, and it's not involved with this, so it's not fair for me to drag his full name into this.
No, I was trying to say we were supposed to guess what the whole Rochambeau is actually supposed to be.
Oh, rock, paper, scissors.
Oh. Rochambeau. Oh, very nice. Rock, paper, scissors.
Yep. So my other option was Optimus Prime Gardner. No.
Optimus Prime Gardner.
Or Madison Square Gardner.
Wow.
I came up with some pretty bad options.
So you don't really know how this whole thing works, it sounds like. Right?
No, that's why my only good choice was a junior.
I feel like Madison Square Gardner ends nowhere good for your kid.
No.
Like
a boy named Sue, nowhere good.
But I
better take off and wait for that kid to fight me and kick my ass.
Madison Gardner is actually a really cool name.
Boston Square.
I actually think Madison. I like Madison as a name in general. So I just think it's hey, I like it. So.
But not Square is the middle name. Square would be an awful middle name.
I don't really think the idea of Square would be probably good.
That was the whole joke.
Yeah, I mean it was a joke, but I actually do like the name Madison. I think it's a pretty name. So
how'd you come up with the names for your kids, Lou? You and your wife.
Wow. We wrote a list of names down, and we sat there and we kind of picked them and kind of figured out where we were, and then so Julia, our 2-year-old, we just liked it. I actually originally was going to go with a G, but we actually had like Emma and like a lot of the ones that were kind of going around at that point in time. Now it's almost 3.5 years at this point. So we came up with Julia and stuck with it. It's not, I've heard a lot of Julianas and stuff like that, but so we're happy we stuck with that. And then, interestingly enough, so we have a Julia, we have J, we didn't have a K, and now we do, and then we have an L, and we don't have an M, but we have an N. So my wife's name is Nana. So we kind of had this thing where we were staying in alphabetical. Kind of weird to think about it that way.
That's kind of fun though.
Yeah, it kind of worked out because I was just like, initially I was like, no K's. I'm like, I don't want to name it. It's like Kevin or something like that. I get nothing against Kevin or Kyle or whatever. And that's my nephew's name. But I had nothing against it. I just, for some reason, had this phobia of a K. I don't know why. K with it. But then I said Kai, and I was like, actually really sounds good. Kai Corso. I was like, actually, that sounds great.
Dragon Ball Z Kai Corso.
Like you throw the Dragon Ball thing in there, all of a sudden it makes
total sense. I know.
Yeah. So I was just like, I'm keeping it. It's done. And it fits. It just perfectly fits.
So, just for clarification to our listeners out there, Lou did not name his child Dragon Ball Z Kai. It's just Kai.
No, it's just Kai, and then the Dragon Ball Z is just, it's you could say that before you say his name, but that's. I had somebody. I still to this day do not know who it is, and if you're listening, I didn't know you did this, but somebody sent me a text and said, "Congratulations on naming your son Cobra Kai." That was just
nice.
Like, who the heck is this?
I want to see. I want to see that person come up on Facebook now. So visit our Facebook page.
I don't know who that person is. But like, and I didn't want to text back, and I didn't say, "Hey, thank you." I'm like, "What? Who? What? I don't know who you are." So it was kind of weird,
Sweep the leg.
I smell a birthday party theme.
Me too. You're the best around.
Well, it's funny because his birthday is actually now coming up in a couple of weeks, and the two of them, my son and my daughter, mostly my son, been walking around and singing "Happy Birthday." And I'm like, well, your birthday's coming up in a few weeks, but I don't know what it is with this "Happy Birthday" theme song that these guys have been going on and singing for the last about a week at this point in time, which is kind of fun, but interesting that we're actually hitting on a topic that my son is very big on lately. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's very, very funny. So
nice.
He'll burst in the room any second now and say "Happy Birthday."
That's all. I can't wait to hear it. Keep the mic.
Yeah, he's still do a lot better job than I do.
So John, what about you?
It's a very diminished story. My son's name is John.
Well, what were the like my story? But what were the girls' names?
So when we were considering names, my son's name John is not really named after me. I guess it's like a double win because we actually named it after our two fathers, my father and Lauren's father. So my father's name is also John, different middle name, so I'm not technically a junior, but his name was John, and her father's name is Robert. So his official full name is John Robert Rosowski.
Junior.
And we kind of settled. Yeah, well, no, not junior, because it's I guess junior. I don't know. I never liked that junior. I don't know why. I have nothing at like Lou's K names. I have nothing against it. I just never particularly liked it. But So that we came settled on that pretty quickly, the two of us. So we had that down. And then girls' names. I gotta say we never settled on one. I think we had like a top. We were quick to come up with the guy's name, and then we had maybe 3 or 4 girls' names if it was a girl, but we never settled on one. I think I think we still don't know actually. So I think that was just remains to be completed section. I'm not sure. Luckily, we didn't have to face that final decision moment when we had to pick a girl's name.
Yeah, well, ultimately, you called the baby the same thing from the beginning to now, right?
Yeah. Oh, he has a nickname, which is kind of his name, actually. His name, we call him Tato, Tato. And really, it kind of it was a nickname that spawned off the word potato.
Tato Kalen.
We just during the course of the pregnancy we kept the you kept the sex a secret, or we didn't want to know it, so we didn't know what to call it. We felt bad calling it so we called it a potato because I think early on it was like a little bit of a she had a little bump and we were like, oh, it's a little potato in there, so the whole time we called it potato, and then it was born. We just kind of cut out the middle and kept the potato.
Oh, you cut out the po?
Yeah.
Kept the potato.
Cut out the po. And that kind of just stuck, and good.
It's funny because that's what everybody calls your son. Everybody
especially now, because like in school we gave him, they were like, like anything, it's like, oh, do you have a nickname that he prefers? So he said that, and we didn't really know what was gonna kick off, and like everyone just seemed to love it. And everyone called him Tato, even though the kids started calling him Tato. It was easy for them to say. It's easy for us to say. Like, not to John Roberts hard or John or JR or whatever, but it just seemed to hit. And, and like now looking at him, I'm like, yeah, you're Tato. So that's kind of his name. But he has a choice, I guess.
That's awesome. That actually brings me into my next topic. And this will be the final topic for this episode here. It'll be a quick one. So there's a nickname right there. That Tato nickname sticks. It's a good one. It doesn't really sound offensive. I remember I remember my younger brother, the youngest out of all of us. He had a nickname that my mother kept calling him growing up. And it was just, for a while it was just like, whatever. That's my mom calling him Poochie. Poochie was the nickname for my little brother. And then one of my older brothers happened to see the Vagina monologues, and Poochie was the name that one of the women had named her vagina in that episode of the show. That completely ruined it for him, and my mom still refused to stop calling him Poochie. So, the weird nickname story. Do you guys have any weird nicknames for your kids that you probably shouldn't continue to repeat?
No.
Is this being edited out?
Is this being edited out? No, the Poochie story stays. The Poochie story stays.
And I'm sorry, who is this about again?
My younger brother, who I've also nicknamed growing up because he was small, lumpy, all white meat, and I called him Nugget.
Talking about Nugget? We're talking about Nugget.
Nugget.
Yeah.
Nugget.
Okay. Does he prefer? So when we see him, should we call him Poochie or Nugget or Poochie Nugget?
Poochie Nugget.
Poochie Nugget sounds like the best gang name ever.
What's up, Poochie Nugget?
Yeah, he should get some grills, Poochie Nugget.
Well, that's better than my brother James, my older brother. He gave him a nickname too, the Flying Danish. It was like, what? Because he had like a little Dutch boy haircut for a little while there. This poor kid. I'm sorry to my brother Dave for bringing this up, but Poochie Nugget, stay real. Keep it real.
Poochie Nugget, the Flying Danish.
Anybody in your families have embarrassing nicknames like that or nickname stories like that?
None that I actually want to repeat here.
Oh, no, that's not good.
Yeah, it's funny.
None that are public.
Yeah, I had a nickname.
I don't think that was supposed to be public.
I had a nickname when I was a kid, right? And I had no idea where the hell this nickname came from. But the funny thing about it is, this nickname has come up subsequent, and maybe you guys can actually just say what this basically means, right? Have you ever heard of the word of the person's name Farquaad?
Yeah.
Lord Farquaad.
Yeah.
Lord Farquaad. So. And for some reason, I got this nickname when I was a kid, Farquaad. And I had no idea why. I had no idea. I got to ask my brother or my sister. I was like, where the hell did you come up with? And the funny thing, I'm watching Shrek one day, and I see Lord Farquaad. I'm like, what the? How the hell did I get my name?
Do you know the Muffin Man?
The Muffin Man?
So I think John
John
Lithgow and I have something in common, But
Farquaad. Are you sure it wasn't like a way of a kid saying like fuckwad without getting in trouble?
No,
because that's what it sounds like to me.
It wasn't me saying anything other than
flying fig Newton.
I have like 5 sisters and 1 brother who are just cruel individuals when I was growing up. Took every chance that they can to take pot shots at it, So that this is the kind of life that I had to grow up in.
That is hilarious, though. Farquaad.
And
what if somebody knew you was a writer on Shrek? That'd be hilarious.
I mean, I could turn around and say, I came up with it. Who the hell came up with that name? But the guy at Shrek, maybe it was my uncle that or something that he heard it. I want to use this.
Farquaad. Well, it's still better than Poochie, so.
It's Poochie Nugget. I think we got to tell his girlfriend, or is it his fiance now? What is it?
His wife to be. They're getting married in September.
It's his fiance now, and we could say maybe she's got to say, I take the Poochie Nugget to be mine.
Poochie Nugget sounds like a character on The Wire. I swear to God.
It does. Or orange is black.
I'm gonna have to let my brother screen this episode before I edit this part.
Oh man.
Are you okay with me saying this?
You Poochie that nugget like it's never seen the.
Oh my God! I mean that now.
Oh shit!
Now you're getting.
You
dirty.
just verbed it.
You verbed
It's
it.
now become a verb.
Wow.
Yeah,
Poochie that
verb
nugget.
Poochie.
you can also verb Farquad. Go Farquad that.
Oh, shit.
Go Farquad yourself.
I Poochie that nugget something good.
Oh God! All right, enough
Wow.
Poochie in the
Yeah,
nugget.
Farquad?
God.
Can you Farquad a nugget?
You can. Oh my God. In the
Farquad.
group chat.
That would actually be
So we're doing this through Skype for all the listeners out there. So sometimes that's why we have some of these audio issues. But in the group chat, John just posted the best picture.
Oh, they're all gone. Why are you even talking to them? There's no one.
Yeah.
The problem is though he's not holding a beer, but you should be holding a beer. And then enter my son. Hello,
Happy
Kaibi.
birthday,
Happy birthday. So his nickname is actually Kaibi.
Kaibi.
Oh, hey baby, how's it going, sweetheart? So you gonna say happy birthday? Thank you, sweetheart.
That's how we gotta end the show. That was cute. All right, folks. Thanks again for listening to the Talkin Dads podcast, brought to you by YouSuggested.com. I'm Mike.
I'm Lou.
You got John here.
I'm Earl. And as they say in New York, go Farquad yourself.
Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
Bye.
Take it easy.